LCD versus AMOLED. Let's talk about that. Welcome to my channel. Hello guys. While buying a smartphone, TV or a computer, you will check your available options, right? And there's some things that would confuse you. Like for instance, the type of display. I'm not talking about display resolution, which you can find here by the way. But I'm talking about the type of display, that is LCD or AMOLED, or its wide variety of subsidiaries. Now, in this video, I'll try to explain to you what these displays are, how they work, and which is better than the other. Don't forget to put your feedback as likes or dislikes on this video, and your comments are much appreciated. Let's get on to it. First of all, let's start with AMOLED. In fact, let's start with the LED part. LED, or the light emitting diode, is a semiconductor light source that emits light when current flows through it. Electrons in the semiconductor recombine with the electron holes, releasing energy in the form of photons. If you understood that, great. Else, just forget that ever happened. LED is that small bulb that glows. So basically, a LED screen has many pixels. Pixels are the smallest unit of light in a display. So these pixels comprise of 3 LEDs each. A red LED, green LED and blue LED. And these three shine with varying intensity to give you the wide range of colors that you see on display. I think you got me, right? Tell me down in the comments below. So that is the LED. So what is OLED? That is OLED. OLED stands for organic light emitting diode, and these are simply LEDs having organic layers of film in them. So that's the OLED. Next comes the active matrix OLED or the passive matrix OLED. What are they? In a passive matrix addressing scheme, each row and line containing pixels within the display is controlled sequentially one by one. That is, a line is controlled. So it requires a higher amount of voltage than is required for a single LED. Whereas in the case of AMOLED displays, it uses an active matrix scheme to address individual pixels. This makes it more energy efficient. The PMOLED displays are usually smaller in size and lower in resolution because of the inherent disadvantage of passive matrix addressing scheme. Due to the use of higher voltage, the lifespan of PMOLED is highly less than AMOLED. Will you skip this video if I tell you more about AMOLED? Give me 5 seconds. The active matrix systems attach a thin film transistor TFT and capacitor to each LED. This way, when a row and column is activated to access a pixel, the capacitor at the correct pixel can retain its charge in between refresh cycles, allowing for faster and more precise controls. So that's all on AMOLED. Accessing individual pixels makes it more energy efficient, but all this assembly makes AMOLED greatly expensive. Next, let's go to LCD displays. LCD displays or liquid crystal displays works very different than AMOLED displays. Rather than using individual point light sources, they use a single backlit panel for the LCD. This is their sole light source. They may use multiple panels for bigger displays for reducing power consumption, but this is the basic thing. So the LCD setup is like this. They have a backlit panel, a polarizing setup, then the color filter. The backlit panel can give out the light. The polarizer setup is such that it can adjust the intensity of the light coming through it. It will make it from a low value to a very high value. Then this light is passed through individual color filters, that is red, green and blue. And this set of red, green, blue makes up a pixel. So here there is no individual control of light. Light is always present in the backlit panel. We are just controlling its intensity in the foreground with the polarizing setup. This polarizing setup works with electrical charges, and this is done by both active and passive systems, just like in LEDs. So that's that. We now know how both of these displays work. Now let's compare their pros and cons, shall we? Talking about LCD displays, they can show you better whites than LED displays, whereas LED displays can give you better blacks and a huge range of contrast. The LCD display tends to be more thicker than the LED display because of all that arrangement in between. At the same time, AMOLED displays are more energy efficient because you can turn off individual pixels which is more useful compared to the LCD displays where the backlit panel is always on. But again, LCD display is more durable. The organic LED can soon fade out. And yes, if you can't decide based on all that, AMOLED displays are more expensive. If you are just willing to just trade off to an LCD display, you may get more for the same price. Now that we have compared LCD and AMOLED displays, we should know that next generation is coming, and it's a time for virtual reality and augmented reality, where displays are going to be obsolete, most probably soon. Maybe I'll be here reviewing that tech for you, maybe, if you share and subscribe. Anyway, on that note, technology is getting bigger and better. Still, the companies are working on their displays, their LCDs and LEDs. What do you think about all this? Tell me down in the comments below. So that's all from me now. Thanks for watching till now. Thanks for liking and commenting. I'm Bimal, and